All right, let's talk Web3. You hear all this talk about it, this new internet, right? But for most of us, it just feels like a confusing mess. So today, we're not going to get bogged down in code. We're talking about something way more important: clarity. We're going to break down the design secrets that could finally make Web3 usable for everyone and, actually unlock all that potential we keep hearing about.
Okay, be honest. Have you ever opened a crypto app and just felt completely and totally lost? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. That feeling, being totally overwhelmed by jargon and all these weird, confusing steps, that's one of the biggest roadblocks holding Web3 back from, well, everyone.
And this right here, this is what designers call the Web3 usability gap. Think of it like this giant canyon between the incredible promise of a decentralized web and the clunky, intimidating reality most of us face when we actually try to use it. And this is where the problem just smacks you in the face. On one side, you've got the simple Web 2 stuff we do without even thinking. On the other, the Web 3 version. So instead of just logging in, you're being asked to approve a smart contract. I mean, what does that even mean? And instead of just sharing something, you have to sign a transaction, which sounds permanent, and it is. It's irreversible. This added complexity, this anxiety, that's the friction that good design has to get rid of.
So, how in the world do we bridge this gap? Well, the answer is design, specifically UI and UX. That's user interface and user experience design. It's really the essential translator. It takes this powerful but super intimidating blockchain tech and turns it into something that you and I can actually understand and, more importantly, trust.
And let's be clear, Web3 UX design is so much more than just making things look pretty. Its whole purpose is to cut down on what's called cognitive friction. You know that mental exhaustion you get when you're trying something new and just confusing? That's it. The goal here is to build an experience that's so intuitive, so safe, that you don't even have to think about all the crazy complex stuff happening in the background.
Think of it like a whole team of specialists. You've got your UX designers, who are like the architects, mapping out the entire user journey to make it feel effortless. Then you have the UI designers, who create the look and feel, the buttons, the screens, all that stuff. And maybe most important of all, people who work on making crypto transactions feel as simple as a tap on your phone, not like you're trying to defuse a bomb.
And this kind of specialization, it's everywhere. You see it in DeFi dashboards that take all this chaotic financial data and somehow make it easy to understand, or in NFT marketplaces that are actually designed for you to discover cool stuff, not just for the crypto insiders. And maybe the most critical piece of the puzzle is something called a UX audit. It's basically like sending in a detective to find every single confusing part of an app and fix it before it scares users away forever.
Okay, so what are designers actually using to build these bridges from total complexity to, clarity? Let's take a peek inside their digital toolbox.
Right, so it's not just about one magic tool. It's really a whole ecosystem of them working together. Figma is kind of the home base. It's where all the visual ideas and the interactive mockups come to life. But here's the crucial part. Those ideas are then put in front of real people using tools like Maze. This helps find every single spot where someone might get confused. From there, you've got other tools to add those smooth animations that make an app feel alive. It's this constant cycle: create, test, and make it better.
So this whole thing isn't just guesswork, right? It's a really methodical process, a proven blueprint for taking some super technical idea and turning it into a product that actually feels effortless. Let's walk through the main steps.
Now, what's really interesting is that the first half of this journey is all about strategy. It has nothing to do with pixels or colors. Notice, we're not even talking about visual design yet. It is all about discovery and deep, deep research. Answering the most important questions first, like who are we even building this for? And what do they actually need? It's only after you nail that down that you can map out a clear path forward.
Okay, so once that solid strategy is locked in, then it's time to start building. It starts with simple blueprints called wireframes, and then those get brought to life with visuals that are all about building trust. After adding in some smooth interactions, the whole thing gets tested again with real users. And this final testing loop is absolutely crucial. It's the last chance to find any problems before handing off a polished, validated design to the engineers to actually build.
All right, so we've seen the problem, the solution, the tools, and the whole process. But why does any of this really matter? Let's connect the dots here and look at the real-world impact. This number, well, it pretty much says it all. The source material we looked at points to a 99% client retention rate. That is a huge indicator that when companies actually invest in this kind of deep design process, the results are so good, so valuable, that they just can't live without it. So you see, this isn't just another expense on a spreadsheet, it's a critical investment that has a really clear return.
And check out the chain reaction this whole thing creates. When people aren't immediately scared off, you get faster adoption. Simple enough, right? And when an app feels clear and transparent, you build trust with your users. And that trust means fewer people get nervous and abandon a transaction halfway through. For a business, all of this adds up to one thing: a real, measurable return on their investment.
So, when you boil it all down, it comes to this. Great design is really just an act of translation. It takes incredibly powerful, complex technology and reshapes it into an experience that feels simple, feels safe, and feels, well, human. That is the bridge to Web3's future.
And that leaves us with one last really big question. We've seen how design is tackling this usability challenge right now. But what's the next big breakthrough going to be? What's that one innovation that will finally make using the decentralized web feel as effortless as, say, liking a photo? Now that is the challenge ahead. Thanks for sticking with us for this breakdown.